2 easy ways to make puffed rice with or without oil. Hey everyone, welcome back to Foodology. Today, we're diving into the delicious world of puffed rice. You know, that light, crispy, irresistible snack that's perfect for munching on anytime, anywhere? Well, guess what? You can easily make it at home with just a few simple ingredients. First things first, let's talk about why you'd want to make your own puffed rice. Sure, you can grab a bag at the store, but where's the fun in that? When you DIY, you get to control exactly what goes into your snack. No preservatives, no additives, just pure, tasty goodness. Have you ever wondered how puffed rice is made? It's actually a pretty fascinating process. You see, when rice is heated to a high temperature, the moisture inside the grains turns into steam. As the pressure builds, the steam looks for a way to escape. When it finally does, boom! The rice kernel expands and puffs up, creating that iconic texture we all know and love. Now that we've got the science lesson out of the way, let's get back to the task at hand, making our own puffed rice at home. As I mentioned earlier, there are 2 ways to do this, with oil and without. Let's start with the oil method. Begin by rinsing 1 cup of rice until the water runs clear. This step is crucial because it removes excess starch, which can make your rice clumpy and sticky. No one wants that. Once your rice is rinsed, cook it in 1 3/4 cups of water until it's nice and tender. This usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the type of rice you're using. When the rice is cooked, spread it out on a lined baking sheet and pop it in the oven at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours. I know, it sounds like a long time. But this slow drying process is key to getting that perfect puff texture. Just think of it as a little exercise in patience. Once your rice is nice and dry, it's time for the exciting part, frying. Heat up 2 inches of oil in a pot until it reaches 425 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're not sure if the oil is hot enough, try dropping in a few grains of rice. If they puff up instantly, you're ready to roll. Now, carefully pour the dried rice into a metal strainer and lower it into the hot oil. Watch in awe as the rice magically puffs up in just 5 to 10 seconds. It's like a miniature popcorn show, right in your own kitchen. Once all the rice has puffed up, drain it on some paper towels to get rid of any excess oil. And there you have it, a batch of crispy, homemade puffed rice ready to be devoured. But don't stop there. Sprinkle on some salt, sugar, or your favorite seasonings to take it to the next level. You can even mix in some nuts, dried fruit, or chocolate chips for a sweet and savory treat. But what if you're trying to cut back on oil? No worries, there's a method for that too. This traditional Indian technique uses salt instead of oil to puff up the rice. Start by mixing 1 cup of parboiled rice with 2 teaspoons of water. Heat the rice in a pan over low heat for 2 to 3 minutes until it's dry and crispy. Then, set the rice aside and heat up 2 cups of salt in the same pan until it's scorching hot. Toss the rice into the hot salt and stir constantly. In just a few seconds, you'll hear the magical popping sound of the rice puffing up. Once it's all puffed, strain out the salt, and you're left with fluffy, oil-free puffed rice. Now, I know what you might be thinking, salt? Won't that make the rice too salty? Well, here's the thing. Most of the salt doesn't actually stick to the rice. It's just there to provide the heat needed for puffing. But if you're worried about sodium intake, feel free to rinse the puffed rice under cold water to remove any excess salt. Try adding some spices like cinnamon or chili powder for a kick of flavor. Or, if you're feeling really adventurous, use your homemade puffed rice as a base for a sweet and sticky treat like caramel puffed rice or chocolate drizzled puffed rice bars. But puffed rice isn't just for snacking. You can also use it as a crispy topping for yogurt parfaits, smoothie bowls, or even salads. It adds a nice crunch and a bit of fun to any dish. Thanks for joining us on this puffed rice adventure. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Foodology for more tasty tips and tricks.